What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Blazers Uprise Live here on a Thursday. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. Hopefully you missed us, man. This is our first live stream in a week. Even during the off season, we normally don't go an entire week without doing content, but I've enjoyed the All-Star break. I've enjoyed some time off. I feel like I'm finally back in touch with reality. And Eric should be joining us here shortly for 9 games for picks against the spread. We got to jump into the first one because it's a TNT game, so it's tipping off a little earlier than normal. But we're also going to talk about the Moda Center upgrades that they recently announced. We're going to talk about what the NBA can do to fix itself and All-Star Weekend especially. I wanted to touch upon that on Monday. I just decided let's take a week off. It's rare that we get some time off, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed the All-Star break. The Blazers, of course, are back in action tonight as they take on the injured Los Angeles Lakers on the second night of a back-to-back. So it's a very winnable game for Portland. That'll be the last game we pick and picks against the spread, and I am looking forward to this live stream, man. It's a little I feel fresh, man. I feel fresh. I'm ready to go. Hopefully you're ready to go as well. Let's jump into picks against the spread. We needed the reset because a week ago on Thursday, we collectively maybe had our worst day of the season. 21-57 was not good. I was disappointed in myself. I went 1-5, but I didn't even lose any ground on first place because chat, you guys also went 1-5. But you had 503 back there in 11th going 0-6, and then Jackson committed to the bit, goes 0-6 as well. Collectively, 2-11 on double downs. It was a brutal, brutal day. We are now collectively 106 games below 500. So it's been a goal of mine for us to go above 500 on the season. We got some work to do. Shout out to Zach. He went 4-2. The only person above 500. Crushables at 500. 3-3 for him. He's only 2 games back of first place. And Eric, making up some of the ground that he lost, he's 5.5 back there in third place. So let's jump into game number 1. I'm just going to leave the Skype call on the screen because Eric told me he would be here about 6 minutes ago. So, we'll wait on him. But we got to pick this first game. Boston is a 7-point home favorite against the Philadelphia 76ers. Injuries for this game: out for the Celtics, Xavier Tillman, and then out for the Sixers, Jared McCain, Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, and Justin Edwards. Once again, shout out to Brendan for getting us the injury report. He's huge for this, man. He's huge because it'd be really hard. Eric, well, okay, now Eric's here. All right, what's going on? There we go.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? All right, so you heard the injuries. I got the poll in there. We're good to go. Chat, there's your poll. And yeah, I'm not confident in today's slate of games, Eric. By the way, how was your All-Star break? Can you hear me?
Talking.
I will take that as a no. Welcome into Behind the Scenes. This is what we do. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Anyway, I'll plug in the picks. Chat, there's your poll. Javon going 76ers. Can somebody post the picks from...
Can't hear.
Hold on. What about now? Okay. It was actually on my end. What's up? How was your break?
Oh, it was very refreshing. How about yours?
It was very refreshing. It was good, man. I feel, I told chat, I feel like I'm back in touch with reality again. Trade deadline was super stressful and just all the content, I was actually able to relax, and I realized that I had been feeling burnt out for months, so I feel pretty good right now. And it's sunny. It's sunny outside, so yeah. And I got a new light, so I don't have a ring light hanging from a string that's attached to my blinds anymore, so we're just feeling good around here, man.
Nice.
All right, 76ers for Crushables and Steven. What are you going with?
I'll go 76ers as well.
I'm just gonna take this. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna wait. I am not confident today. I know I'm going to go below 500. We got Celtics for Arrow, Connor Jackson, Brendan 503. If you want to double down on this game, make sure that you announce it right now. Trevin Celtics. Brendan 503. Zach went Celtics. Thank you for Trevin for plugging in the picks into the chat. We got Celtics for Arrow, and then Sixers for Javon. Right now, chat's going to go Celtics 80% of the vote.
What's up, everyone in chat? How are you guys doing?
I'll go Sixers as well. I'll go Sixers. We got an 8v5 in favor of the Sixers. Alrighty.
All the cool people are Sixers.
Yeah, all the cool people. Me, you, Crushable, Steven, Javon. All right, game number 2. We got Indiana hosting Memphis. Memphis, a 1.5 point road favorite. Eric, are you good to go on the injuries?
Yep.
Cool.
So out for the Grizzlies is Johnny Davis and Cam Spencer. Out for the Pacers, Isaiah Jackson. So very healthy game.
Yeah, hopefully we get some more healthy games now that we had the All-Star break.
I got confused saying Johnny Davis's name on the Grizzlies. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. They just cut him.
Yeah, but it says
the Grizzlies literally just cut him. So apparently he'll have some free agent interest. I don't know how, but
yeah,
that's the report.
I mean, it's one of those buy low candidates.
He's a classic Blazer guy.
Yeah.
High draft pick, has proven that he's not good.
Let's go.
I'm just going to take the road underdogs. I'll go Indiana. We got Grizzlies for Trevin and Javon. Johnny Davis is a net or a bull. Probably. We got Pacers for Zach and Steven. Camden, who just got robbed? What are you talking about? We got Grizzlies for Arrow Jackson. John Morant got robbed? Connor 503. I haven't heard about this.
Will that make him play better or worse?
Yeah. This is what we have to analyze. Crushables. And Eric, what are you going with?
I'm going to go Grizzlies.
All right. Eric is going Grizzlies. So it's me, Zach, and Steven versus everybody else at 10v3 in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies. All right. Game number 3. We got the Atlanta Hawks hosting the Orlando Magic. The Magic are a 1-point road favorite.
Man. So out for the Magic, we got Mo Wagner and Jalen Suggs. Out for the Hawks, we have Larry Nance Jr., Vit Krejci, Jalen Johnson, and Kobe Buffkin.
Camden says, I don't like this game. Neither do I. I don't like any of the games today, other than the Blazers one.
I'm going to take the Hawks.
Well, I said I'm going to take the home underdogs, so I'm going to go with the Hawks as well. Javon going Magic.
Yes.
He really likes Javon's pick.
That was Cora, yeah.
Oh, it was Cora. Couldn't tell.
Yeah, she was very excited that he chose Magic.
Yeah. All right, waiting on Trevin. Chat right now, it's pretty 50-50. We got 58% on the Atlanta Hawks. Trevin going Hawks. Javon says this will be his double down. Well, we should get through by 4:40 p.m. Pacific, so should be good to go. We got Magic for Jackson. Spurs entering the tank. Yeah, that sucks. Wemby's out for the year. Will the Blazers finish with a higher record than the Spurs now? That's like one of the first things I thought, man, because I would not want to go into lottery day with that team having higher odds. And with like the Hawks also in the lottery, so you can just add their odds together because they get the Hawks unprotected pick. They're going to find a way to getting Cooper Flagg. I don't want to talk too much about prospects because we're doing our big boards on the postgame show today. Are you ready to go 70 players deep, Eric?
I mean, we could, but it's not going to be very good.
Well, I'm like ready to go like 65 players deep.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. The rest are Hawks, so we got Magic for Jar. I was looking at prospects for like 4 or 5 hours yesterday after watching some college games. So I'm locked in, man. I have some bold stuff tonight. You guys better tune in for the post game show because we got some fun stuff. All right, so Brendan Hawks, Steven Hawks, 503 Hawks. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of these. Trevin. Chat's 50-50. So it's just Jackson, Javon, Magic. Chat, we need somebody else to vote in the chat poll to break the 50-50 tie. So one of you out there wields all the power for this pick. There it is. It's Hawks. It's another Hawks. So an 11v2 in favor of the Hawks. All right. Game number 4. Trevin, once again, correct me if any of those are wrong, or let me know if they're right. Game number 4, we got the Brooklyn Nets hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland, a 13-point road favorite. Another road favorite.
All right, in this one, we got Dean Wade out for the Cavs. They have Isaac Okoro and Ty Jerome questionable. Out for the Nets are D'Anthony Melton, Noah Clowney, and Cam Thomas.
Alrighty, chat. There's your poll. Aiden says, how about the Missouri Tigers? They look really good right now. They looked really good last night. They had 59 in the first half. They had like 31 9 minutes into the game, which in the NBA Auburn? Isn't the... No, Missouri.
No, were they playing Auburn?
Oh, they were playing Alabama.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And they just dominated them. Because they got like Mark Mitchell now. He had 31. Yeah, it was very entertaining. Do I continue with my theme here?
I am. I'm taking the Nets.
You know what? I'm just going to continue with my theme. I have to. I have no confidence in any of these games, so I might as well have a strategy at least. We got Javon going Nets. We got Nets for Crushables, Connor, Brendan. This is how chat falls off, man. They love themselves a favorite. I pick the right underdogs. I catch chat. I win. That's my strategy. We got Cavs for Arrow and Zach. Jackson 503 Steven. And then Trevin is going with the Cavs as well. And then Chat is going to go with the Cavs. So it's a 7v6 in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Alrighty, game number 5 and 9. We got the New York Knicks hosting the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks are 11-point home favorites. I'm going to have to break my trend in one way or the other.
Yep. All right, in this one we have Patrick Williams out for the Bulls. For the Knicks, they have Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, and Pacome Dadiet out. Questionable is OG Anunoby.
All right, there we go, chat. There's your poll. All right. I'll go Knicks. The Nets pulled a Joe Cronin and kept Cam Johnson. Yeah, they did. Except he's, like, not getting worse, and his contract is also getting better because it's declining. So, not quite, but kind of. In spirit, yeah. Trevin going Knicks. As I said, I went Knicks.
I'll take Bulls.
Eric going with the Bulls. Bulls for Connor. Jackson, Brendan. Bulls for Javon. Knicks for Aerozak. Crushables 503 Steven. And then chat, it looks like, is going with the Knicks. 60% of the vote. 56 or 60. Yeah, it got up to 60. Alrighty, so that makes this a 8v5 in favor of the New York Knicks. We got a pretty good split on a lot of these games, which is always fun. Game number 6, we got the Milwaukee Bucks hosting the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers are 3-point road favorites.
All right. That's because the Clippers have no injuries, and the Bucks list Damian Lillard, Andre Jackson, and Giannis Antetokounmpo as questionable.
Is there any update here? Because it's less than an hour before game time.
I'll check.
I'll search Lillard on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. Chat, there's your poll. Basically, do you think Dame and Giannis will play? Bobby Portis isn't going to play because he's suspended for 25 games. I'm just going to break my trend and go with the Clippers because I don't know what the injuries are going to be there. And I think the Clippers can beat them anyway, so. Dame and Giannis are playing, but their minutes are limited. All right, yeah, give me the Clippers. We got Bucks for Javon.
I'm going to take the Bucks because they're a home underdog.
I got Eric. I got him. Tricked him. That was my trap. We're playing chess over here. Trevin going Clippers.
How do you know you got me? Maybe I was just had that strategy too.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I should have remained committed to the bit. Andre Jackson playing. Yeah, he'll probably have a better dunk in this game than he did in the dunk contest. We got Bucks for Crushables 503 Jackson. Whoops, wrong team. There we go. Clippers for Arrow, Connor, Steven, Brendan. And we just need Zach's pick here. What'd Zach go with? Chat's going to go with the LA Clippers. 71% of the vote. And... oh, Zach is going Clippers. Okay. His name's so short that I missed it. All right, so we got an 8v5 in favor of the Los Angeles Clippers. Game number 7, we got the Denver Nuggets hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Denver's a whopping 17.5-point home favorite.
All right. Hornets played last night, and they're without Grant Williams, Trey Mann, Josh Okogie, Brandon Miller. Out for the Nuggets are Peyton Watson, Deron Holmes, and Vlatko Konkar.
I guarantee that I get this game wrong.
Nice.
It's easy money that I get this game wrong. Speaking of money, I do have a quarter here.
I'm just going to take the points. Go with the Hornets.
I'm also going Hornets. So.
Oh, you fell into my trap.
Well, I trapped both of us together, unfortunately. All right, Nuggets for Trevin. I did say easy money that I get it wrong, though, so. We got Hornets for Javon. Nuggets for Arrow 503. Crushables Steven. And then I assume it's Hornets for the rest. Chat right now, 50-50. We love a good 50-50. All right, yeah, there we go. Hornets for Connor. Zach. Jackson and Brendan. And chat is going to go Hornets. Chat fell into our collective trap. At least we're bringing them down with us. 8v5 in favor of the Charlotte Hornets. Game number 8. We have the San Antonio Spurs hosting the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix 2.5-point road favorite. Eric's preoccupied, so injuries for this game. Out for the Suns, Cody Martin and Grayson Allen. And then out for the Spurs, Riley Minix, Charles Bassey, and Victor Wembanyama, who, if you didn't hear, is out for the season due to a blood clot in his shoulder. Very unfortunate news. All right, I'm going to take the Spurs. I don't trust the Suns to beat anybody right now. They kind of suck. At least they did before the All-Star break. Maybe they got right. I don't know. Actually, no, I'm not going Spurs. They are, like, terrible without Wemby. Oh, this is... I don't know. I'll figure it out. We got Suns for Trevin, Javon, Eric. I'm going to go Suns, too. Because I saw some splits, Wemby on off, and how bad the Spurs were without him. Yeah, I guess I'll go Suns. We got Suns for, Javon, Trevin, and Big E. This is a pick your poison game. That's how I feel about almost every single game today. I feel like either way I'm gonna get poisoned. Kyrie took his ankles, yeah, but then he didn't finish it, man. The slow-mo clip was cool, though. It looks like chat's going to end up going Suns. They got 80% of the vote. So I'm just going to plug that in now. We'll see if you bring it back. Still waiting on Trevin to plug in the rest of the picks. Spurs for Steven. Steven Island on the Spurs. Really? Really? Alrighty. Shout out to Steven for winning an island. Alrighty, so 12v1. Steven gets an island with the San Antonio Spurs. Alrighty, in the final game of the day, we got the Portland Trailblazers hosting the LA Lakers. The Lakers 1.5-point road favorites. Eric, what are the injuries?
All right. For the Lakers, they're without Maxi Kleber. I thought
they're also without Luka.
I thought Luka was out. It doesn't show.
Yeah, they're also without Luka, and LeBron is questionable.
Man, Brendan's throwing me off here. Blazers without DeAndre Ayton, Matisse Thybulle. Questionable are Robert Williams, Scoot Henderson, and Jeremy Grant.
Yep. So Luka's out, second night of back-to-back. LeBron's questionable. No Maxi Kleber. Don't know about the rest of that injury report. But, yeah, that's what it is.
I'm going to take the Blazers.
Yeah, I'm taking Blazers, too. Got Trevin taking Blazers, Javon taking Lakers. Lakers for Jackson Crushables, Brendan. Chat right now, 56% on the Blazers. Scoot clean connection running wild tonight. I hope so, because that would mean Scoot plays. He might not. Okay, so Arrow, Connor, 503, Steven, Zach. All right, so bang, 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 bang. Chat 50-50. Next vote breaks the tie. And it's for the Blazers, the home cooking. All right, so we got a 9v4 in favor of the Portland Trail Blazers, 1.5-point underdogs tonight against the Lakers. I think the Blazers will win this game. I think they play much better at home, and I think, you know, with the injuries, the Lakers on second night of a back-to-back. How many times do the Blazers play a team second night of a back-to-back at home and win games, Eric? Because that was basically their whole 11-game stretch. So, with that being said, my double down is going to be the Portland Trail Blazers. We already got Jackson 503, Brendan on the Celtics. We got Arrow on the Cavs. We got Connor on the Clippers. Crushables on the Grizzlies. Steven on the Spurs. And then we got, let's see here. Javon doubled down earlier on the... Javon, just remind me who you doubled down on.
It was the Magic.
I think so.
I hate that I'm about to do this, but I'm going to double down on the Suns.
I suddenly put the Magic as your logo. There you go, the Suns. Good luck. Good luck. Steven Island going to destroy you.
That's
Steven actually doubled down on his island, too.
That's an L for me.
Steven actually doubled down on his island accidentally, which is wild. We got Zach going Knicks. Let's see here. Desmond, you owe me a donation, man. You owe me a $5 donation, remember. You said they were going to win every game in February, and then they lost 3 straight, so. Javon was Magic, that's right. Okay, so Magic, and then we just need Trevin's double down. And Chat's double down. What I missed, been in court stuff. Remember, we agreed to a bet. I said... You said the Blazers were going to win every game the rest of February. I said if they did, I would let you back in the Discord. But if they didn't, you owed me a $5 donation. Saying that you were wrong. That's what you agreed to. So, I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to that.
Chad's double down is the Celtics.
All right, thank you. All right, so we got 4 on the Celtics, Jackson, 503, Brandon, Chat. We got 2 on the Clippers, Trevin and Connor. Then everybody else is on their own. Steven is going against Eric. Steven has a Spurs Island against Eric with the Suns. I'm doubling down on your Portland Trail Blazers. They're my Portland Trail Blazers tonight. We got Zach on the Knicks, Javon on the Magic, Arrow on the Cavs, and Crushables on the Grizzlies. And that concludes picks against the spread. Thank you for your participation. Alrighty, let me get this solo camera out of here. There we go. If you guys want to get in on any of those spread lines, by the way, check out BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150. You'll receive 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonuses on your second and third deposits, up to $2,000. So check them out if you're feeling good about any of those lines that we just predicted. Alrighty, Eric.
Wow, Desmond's backing out of a bet that he agreed to.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Man, that's why you're such a fraud, dude.
You agree? I was gonna hold up my end of the bargain, man. You don't have $5?
Why did you agree to that if you
to a bet if you couldn't donate $5? You shouldn't have agreed to it then.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, then we'll let you participate in chat. But bet's a bet. I was gonna hold up my end of the bargain, but they were never gonna win every game in February, man. So anyway, you know, I will respect it if you pay up. All right, I respect it. I respect it. I'm not even trying to give you crap. I knew they weren't gonna win every game in February, but maybe they can win every single game after the All-Star break for the rest of the season, Eric.
Yeah,
I give them a 50-win season.
Just like the last 3 years, they've done so well after the All-Star break.
Yeah, what is their collective record the last 3 years after the All-Star break? Do they even have 10 wins the last 3 years after the All-Star break?
Rich would know.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Rich, man. I want that stat because I don't even know if it's probably a little more than 10 games, but yeah, it's been bad. Slim, I absolutely agree with that. We're gonna talk about. Desmond says I only bet actions like push-up videos and things. You agreed to a bet where you would have had to donate $5. You agreed to that. So what do you mean you only bet things other than that? Man, I'm glad to be back, Eric. Nothing has changed, and everything is still everything is still as it was. As it was. I'm just in a better mood. So I'm rolling with this, but don't agree to a bet if you don't plan on upholding your end of the bargain. That's Basic Betting 101. Basic Betting 101. Brought to you by BetUS. Anyway. Chat, hopefully you guys, as I said, are having a good week. Hopefully you missed us. Hopefully that's why you're here. Hopefully you're not hate watching us. Let's talk about a few things. So the things I want to talk about, Eric. I already kind of previewed the game, right? Like, I don't know how much more you want to go into it, but the Blazers play the Lakers tonight. The Lakers without Luka. LeBron is questionable. Second night of a back-to-back. I think this is a very winnable game. I think this is going to be a very interesting game to see if they get back to the identity that they showed during that 11-game stretch where they won 10 and looked really good. And then, of course, the 3 games after that stretch, the 3 games before the All-Star break, they completely fell off a cliff. And their defense fell off a cliff, and they reverted back to the bad basketball that we saw earlier in the season, right? So I think this is an interesting game. Do they look like that team during that 11-game stretch? But also, Eric, if they do look like that team tonight, it also goes right back to, oh, look, they're facing a team missing Luka, maybe missing LeBron, and they're also, once again, at home with a rest advantage facing a team on the second night of a back-to-back. You know what I mean? So it's like, would be good to see that team show up tonight, but also it's kind of the same circumstances that potentially led to the Blazers having such a good 11-game stretch. So, you know, it's just one of those things where I'm not rooting for wins or losses at this point in the season. Like, I'm not really rooting for anything. I'm rooting for Scoot to play well. I'm rooting for the young guys to play as many minutes as possible. It's exciting that Klingen's going to be getting a lot of minutes, so I'm looking forward to seeing him potentially break out. That's what I'm rooting for. But as far as results of games at this point, you know, close games are fun. If they lose, it's good for the tank. If they win, it's probably because young players are playing well. Hopefully it is because young players are playing well. So I'm not really caught up in whether they win or lose, but this is a very winnable game tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at, too, in terms of how I'm looking at each game. But in terms of, like, are they the team that played or showed up the last 3 games, or are they more the team that was starting to show some promise with that 11-game streak? I think you're right in the sense that, you know, if they play well tonight, it's probably a good thing, but like you expect them to be in this game. So I only look at it as like a bad thing if they get blown out or like lose this game and don't look very good. Then I think we can safely say that this season's a lost cause. But this is a big test in terms of, are they going to have that fall off after the All-Star break like we're used to seeing, or are they actually going to remain competitive and try to win games from here on out? Or are they just playing for lottery positioning at this point?
Yeah. I also think it's interesting Thybulle's still not back. Is he just Justice Winslow now with his ankle? Like, he might not play this year. What are the odds that... Sorry, go ahead.
I think they said he was finally cleared for 5-on-5 full court.
Oh, okay. So he probably will play. Hopefully he doesn't hurt himself again. Hopefully he can actually be healthy. Now, Ayton, Eric, I forget if we talked about this, but with his reevaluation date being mid-March and how those reevaluation dates usually lead to, oh, he's still out for a couple more weeks, like, is there a legitimate chance in your mind that Ayton doesn't play a single minute the rest of the season now?
Yes. I could maybe see him coming back if, like, let's just say the Spurs fall off, which they probably will, and we're creeping in on one or two teams there, and looking like we have an okay shot of maybe, challenging that 10th seed. I think maybe he comes back at some point, but at the same time, if we do play well enough to get to that point, do we really need him back, or like to rush him back or anything? Because that probably means, like you said, the young players, especially Klingman in that role of the starting center, is playing well. So, I have a feeling, they're just going to keep him out the rest of the season and just kind of milk that injury along. Like you mentioned, the reevaluation day can be adjusted to. He had his reevaluation and it is progressing towards improving. And, like, just word it so it seems like he's making progress, but just a word salad of crap. That means he's probably going to sit out the rest of the year. At this point, I'd be surprised if he did play again this year.
He's improving towards his progression of potentially playing at some point, potentially for the rest of the season. Yeah, there you go. Search up synonyms that are like potential and possibly, and you'll see a bunch of those after his reevaluation date, most likely. So, most likely. That's another. He's most likely progressing towards potentially playing. There you go. That is the Blazers reevaluation update that we normally get. So, we'll see. I mean, if you followed the channel since its inception, you'll know that you don't play around with calf strains. Shout out to you if you know the reference, all right? If you know the OG rant that is in reference to.
Painful reference.
Painful. It's a painful reference.
Immediately. Absolutely.
You don't play around with calf strains. You don't play around with calf injuries. That's how you end up with Achilles tears. So I don't think there's going to be a reason to bring him back. If I had to bet, I would say he's done playing for the rest of the year, because I don't think they're going to be close enough to a play in March to bring him back when he would be healthy enough to come back. So I think he's done for the year. You're going to get a lot of Donovan Klingen, though, which is the silver lining of all of that, is you're going to get a lot of Donovan Klingen, and that should be fun. So. Yeah,
absolutely. His progress along with Scoot and Sharp is definitely the thing I'm looking the most forward to the rest of the season. Is just him getting minutes and seeing what he can do with those minutes, see his improvement on the floor.
Yep, absolutely. So then, two other things I want to talk about. All right, let's start with the Moda Center. They're finally renovating Moda Center. We've heard about renovations during the summer for a long time now, and it's like, they don't really do anything. Well, they're finally going to do something that fans are going to notice, Eric, because the Moda Center is upgrading their video boards. Not only are they making the main video board bigger, but they're also putting in, and I assume this is over the summer in time for next year.
It's about 2026 season.
Yeah. So they're putting video boards up in the corners. So 4 video boards, like, they kind of run along the top of the arena on the baseline side, which is really cool. I think that's a huge win, I guess. So say it's going to look more modern, going to be able to display more information. It'll be interesting to see the ways that they use those video boards. But it's just cool that they're doing something that's going to make the experience at Moda Center better. It's finally like, man, our fans aren't showing up anymore. Bert, Jody, our fans, we need to find a way to bring them back. What can we do? All right, new video boards. There you go. Let's try and get fans back in the arena with some new video boards.
And Moda Center is one of the older arenas in the NBA now, and so we know they're not getting a new arena anytime soon. So you kind of have to upgrade it a little bit for all the people who are like, see, Jody spends money. Well, first of all, it's not her money. It's the team's money, and they probably get like tax breaks and stuff for doing this. They also saved a ton of money by selling the property or whatever back to the city. And so, yeah, maybe some of that had to do with, well, we need some upgrades then if you're going to not just pocket all this money. So, but it's good that they're actually doing something.
Yeah. Agreed, man. And I'm just at this point assuming Rip City 3-on-3 is never going to come back because they're perpetually going to be upgrading and renovating the arena during the summer. Yeah. It's been how many years since that?
It was 2019, the last one, because
I think
it was right before COVID. Yeah.
It's 2025. This is 6 years. Their website still says ripcity3on3.com. The Rip City 3-on-3 basketball tournament is taking a hiatus. I'm just going to assume forever at this point, which sucks.
I don't see, if they're doing renovations inside the arena, not outside the arena, why can't they still have it?
I know. At this
or
point,
on the weekend?
At this point, I just need to get you in on my Vancouver City League team so that we can hoop together because we ain't playing no 3-on-3. So,
well, we should play in a different 3-on-3.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. But, shout out to Moda Center, whoever decided that upgrade. I think is going to be a pretty cool upgrade. So, yay, some positivity. We're coming back with positivity, Eric. The All-Star break changed us. The last thing I want to talk about, it's not going to be positive. The All-Star weekend, and kind of the NBA in general. Let me just get your thoughts. Basically, if you didn't pay attention to All-Star Weekend, they had 3 All-Star teams split up of 8 players, basically, and 1 Rising Stars team, the Rising Stars team that won it all, and they played games to 40, 2 semifinals and then a final, and there was very little basketball played because you can imagine games to 40, All-Star games to 40, they get to 40 very quickly, and competition level, like competitiveness, was a little bit better, but not enough. And there's a lot of random, long breaks for just random stuff during it. Of course, the All-Star or Saturday night 3-point contest was cool. Spurs tried to cheat the skills challenge, whatever. The dunk contest, Mac McClung was good. Stephon Castle was really good. He had some sick dunks, man. I was impressed by him. Andre Jackson Jr., Matas Buzelis didn't really do anything, but Mac McClung jumped over a car, but didn't jump over the hood of a car like Blake Griffin. He jumped over the entire car, so that was sick. But basically, there's just a lot of criticism over all the breaks and how little basketball was played on All-Star Sunday night. And now there's talks about like one-on-one tournament maybe next year that some players say, yeah, I'd do it, I'd win it, but we'll see if they actually want to because you're putting your pride on the line. The unrivaled women's basketball has been doing a one-on-one tournament that's been pretty popular. So maybe it inspires the NBA. But basically, Eric, I want your thoughts on All-Star Weekend and how broken you think it is and what they can do to fix it. And we can also talk about like just some fixes to the NBA as a whole because there's a lot of rhetoric from Draymond and older players about just like the game has no substance, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, my thoughts are, well, one, I don't think you're ever going to get players to 100% care about it. Yeah. It's not going to be like this Four Nations hockey tournament that's going on right now. It was just the perfect timing for that with everything going on, especially with the USA and Canada right now and national pride and stuff like that. But like, even if you did that with the NBA, I mean, they're still not going to care because USA versus Europe, like it'll be fun, but like it doesn't. So in my opinion, you just have to accept that. Just have a freaking game. Celebrate the players, have it a celebration of basketball, and just deal with it. Like it's an all-star game. It's an exhibition. It's not supposed to be the most competitive game ever. Like, so you're just going to have that issue whether you change the format a million times or not. Now, if you keep doing crap like you mentioned, not playing basketball for 2.5 hours and then playing basketball for 33 minutes or whatever it was, games. The All-Star game, they usually score, in the mid 100s in points, and we're playing till 42 games.
Yeah.
Like it's just not enough basketball. So, I mean, there's been plenty of fun moments in All-Star games in the past. Like, why do we have to make it different? And why is it not just East versus West? Why do you vote for 2 starting units from each conference, but they're not the starters, and you have 3 teams? It makes no sense to vote for 2 starting 5s with 3 teams playing in a tournament.
I think that's just more for the accolade itself.
Right, I know. I'm just saying, none of it makes sense. And then to go into a weekend that's supposed to be, like I said, a celebration of your sport and the best athletes or the best players in your sport, and to sit there and just listen to everyone, the players, the media, Adam Silver, everyone just crapped on the game of basketball for a whole weekend. It was just a bitch fest about the game of basketball. How is that good for your sport to just have your own people involved with the All-Star game just complain about it the entire weekend, complain about your whole sport, complain about the style of play, complain about the All-Star game, everything about basketball? It was just a nonstop whine fest about basketball. How is that going to progress your game? It just, so go back to just scrap all this, just have a fun weekend. Don't ever think it's going to be more than that. Just enjoy it. Don't complain about players not playing. Just hope they give some sort of effort or put on a show, and let's get back to enjoying it and celebrating it instead of just crapping all over it.
Yeah. So I think the 4-team setup is fine if it's done right. You should have a clock, right? Maybe it's, I don't know, 24-minute games, 30-minute games. I don't know how long the clock is, but you have a clock where you know how much basketball you're going to get, instead of they scored half their target score in 3.5 minutes. We have to extend things for our advertisers. Let's, do all this stuff. It should just be time. Target score is just trying to do something different for no reason. I have always, this, Eric, I've always hated target scores, even in All-Star games. I just think it's dumb. Just have a clock. Why do you need to do a target score, right? Because basically with that, it was I don't think they would have had the clock at 12-minute games. I think they would have done longer, but instead it's 40 target score. Oh, the game lasted 11 minutes. Players barely got to play, right? It's just stupid, especially in this format. It's stupid. If you did it in the All-Star game and it's 150 target score because they're going to score 150 in about 48 minutes a game. All right, fine. In this format, target score, completely stupid. I think the format was fine, but I also agree with you. They're not going to play super hard, and you just got to accept that. I am cool with just doing the East versus West thing, but I also think they need to make All-Star teams a little bit bigger. They need to make All-Star teams a little bit bigger, and because there's just a lot of talent in the league, star talent in the league right now, and you got guys that it's just weird, Devin Booker not making it. I know he hasn't had the best season, but he's still playing a bona fide all-star, and he doesn't make it, right? Trae Young doesn't make it. I think you can make all-star teams a little bigger. The problem with that is if you just have an East versus West game, a lot of these guys are not playing that much. So I think if done right, the 4 teams thing can work because you probably get players a little bit more playing time. And especially if you have a clock and a close game late, that could be fun and competitive. So I just think they need to rework that a little bit. But I also think you got to get away from the stupid gimmick of we're just going to throw Kevin Hart at everybody for no reason because we still think he's funny. We're going to throw Kevin Hart at that was just ridiculous, and the way he was just kind of jokingly dissing people, and it was just very kind of negative. So I just thought that was stupid. It should be focused as a celebration of basketball, not gimmicky crap. So, hopefully MVC will do it better because this was TNT, and hopefully MVC and the NBA put their heads together and come up with a good All-Star weekend. But, yeah, it's just hopefully they learn from this because it was a pretty lame product on Sunday. But also, I'd also say this, every single year, man, This happens in our group chat. This happens on Twitter. Like every single year, you know these players are not going to play that hard, but every single year people will watch it and just absolutely hate what they're watching, but they'll still watch it and sit there on social media like, these guys aren't trying, like just complaining. It's like, you know they're not going to try. You know what you're going to get on an All-Star Sunday night. Like, you know that. I understand. The complaints about the not enough basketball, very valid. That's new. But, like, the dunk contest, too. You know there's going to be 2 or 3 NBA players in the dunk contest nowadays that, like, don't do anything. That are just complete crap. I fully expect that going in. So then when I see Andre Jackson, it's like, oh, yeah, this is what the dunk contest is. Just be thankful you have Mac McClung doing cool stuff and Stephon Castle showed up, right? That's how I view it. It's just all these people getting, like, legitimately mad and saying, like, oh, this dunk contest is so embarrassing for the league, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this is literally what it's been for years. You know what it's going to be. So I don't understand knowing what you're getting yourself into when you watch a dunk contest or All-Star Sunday night just to, like, get mad about it, because you should expect what it's been. It's not going to change. Now, maybe if you get Shaedon Sharpe in there, like, maybe the dunk contest would be better, right? But you should just go in not expecting much and then hopefully be pleasantly surprised instead of going in like things are going to be different and then getting mad when they're not.
Yeah. So you mentioned like the dunk contest and stuff. Like, why is there only 4 people in the dunk contest? Didn't there used to be like 7 or 8? And like,
remember the year Dame did it? There was 6, and they actually had a lot of star power in it. But they did it. It wasn't like it was gimmicky, like weird stuff.
But yeah, like right now, if you have 4 and like 2 people suck, like then you get like 2 cool.
Is it better? Is it better to have 8 and have 6 people suck?
Well, not necessarily, but I feel like it's, I don't know, like, why not have more dunks and like more? It's like what? It just goes back to the whole, you're not doing anything in between. Like you're having all this fluff in between the events, and you're not actually making the events better, you know? Like,
yeah, but here's the problem with the dunk contest though, is everything's been done pretty much. Like I go back and watch Vince Carter's dunk contest from 2000, and it's like super cool because the reactions, like everybody was losing their minds, right? But then I was thinking about, like, man, if somebody did that dunk today, the crowd would not react like that at all. Like, people would not be amazed like they were when Vince Carter was doing those dunks in 2000. Like, people would be like, oh, that's a cool dunk. Like you see, like, the behind, what was the one? The Stephon Castle where, like, the ball goes through the hoops and he goes between the legs, and it was like, oh, wow, that was a sick dunk. In 2000, people would have lost their minds. I go back and watch 50 dunks from the 1980s when the dunk contest was at its peak. And it's like people doing some of the most basic stuff. Some of the most basic stuff. So I think the problem with the dunk contest is, like, you have to get so insanely creative to actually wow people. And Mac McClung did it, jumping over a car. Are the San Antonio Spurs going to let Stephon Castle jump over a freaking car, potentially hurt himself, potentially end his season? You know what I mean? For a dunk contest? Probably not, right? But the Magic, Mac McClung's a two-way player. People just know him for the dunk contest. They don't care. You know, he's a two-way guy. He's Mac McClung, right? Mac McClung was their starting point guard. He's probably not doing that dunk in the dunk contest. So that's part of the problem with the dunk contest, is you have to be super creative, almost risky to impress people. NBA teams aren't going to let their players take those risks, and then it's just like, I don't know, man. If you try and do really difficult dunks with a timer, there's a good chance that you end up not getting a dunk in and having to do something basic, and then everybody's disappointed anyway, even if you tried to do something really creative and failed. So it's basically impossible at this point, I think, to make the dunk contest what it was. I think it, like, the last peak was the Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine stuff, but those guys were doing stuff that was insane, man. Like, now it's if somebody does that Aaron Gordon dunk, it's like, oh, you've seen it before. Still a cool dunk, yeah, but you've seen it before. So there's only so much creativity you can do in the dunk contest that's why it's like I don't go in expecting much, and I don't get mad about it, because I think it's just kind of almost overplayed to the point where it's really hard for guys to actually impress people anymore.
Yeah, I see that point of view. I mean, maybe you shouldn't even have it then. I don't know. Like, I still think it's fun, but I just
Yeah, it was still fun. I mean, they're going to make their money off of
yeah.
it. It's, but it's like without Mac McClung.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
I mean, I think the only thing that can really propel it back to somewhat relevant is you saw all those people like Jaw say right afterwards, "Oh, you're
yeah.
making me want to do it next year." Well, then frickin' do it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Star power
actually
would be
do
good.
it. Like, we never got LeBron in a dunk contest. We
Yeah.
never got Zion in a dunk contest. Jaw's never done it, I don't think, right?
Yeah.
So like,
Hopefully, we're not saying that about Shea one day. We
yeah,
never got. Because
and,
Shaden is bouncy enough,
mhm,
long enough arms, like big enough to do maybe some stuff we've never seen in NBA dunk contests.
yeah. Joey says they should bring in professional dunkers, non-NBA players versus NBA players. So dunk contest. Isn't that kind of what they're doing with Mac McClung?
It's kinda, yeah. I mean, professional dunkers do some insane
Yeah,
stuff, man.
right.
But that's also the problem is like you watch these professional dunkers on YouTube and it's like, oh wow, look at that scorpion dunk. Do you guys even know what a scorpion dunk is? Maybe not, but it's like insane stuff that NBA players maybe aren't even capable of doing because like these professional dunkers, that's what they do. That's what they do. That's basically what they focus on with their life. So, NBA players are not focused on dunking year in, year out, right? A lot of them would probably get skinnier so they could jump a little higher. But they play NBA basketball. So that's the other thing is if you go on YouTube and watch some of these guys do some insane stuff, the dunk contest is just going to seem mundane with NBA players. So it's like, it's just set up to be disappointing, I think. And that's why I go into dunk contests like not expecting much and not getting mad about it. And that's why it boggles me why people get so upset over the dunk contest.
Right. Yeah.
Do you guys think Scoot could? No, not. I mean, he's a power dunker. That's the problem. So he's not a 2-foot jumper either.
Yeah, and then the other thing is like to hear all the players like say bad things about the style of play in the NBA now. It's like you realize you're a player in the NBA playing style, right? Like,
Yeah. But I also think it's not even true, some of the critiques.
no, I know. It's
Like there is so much more movement and flow and skill in today's game. There is all of the long like 17, 18-foot two-pointers have become threes. If you go back and watch games from like the 90s or the 2000s, it's a lot of standing around, enter the ball into the post, kick the ball out to somebody that's like a step inside the three-point line, they shoot a long two, right? But they didn't shoot as many threes. It wasn't just a three-point contest. There's actually substance. Dude, the lack of movement, the illegal defense rules in the 80s, like I don't think there's less substance or creativity to today's game. I think the only thing where maybe there's less creativity is you don't have guys doing like all these weird creative moves for contested pull up or fadeaway twos because guys either try and get to the rim or kick out for three or come off pick and roll, and you know what I mean? That's kind of today's game, but I don't think it's lacking substance. And I think somebody like Draymond always has to have a hot take, right? And it's like, dude, you played one of the most creative offenses of our generation.
still does.
Yeah, still do. And your job is just pass Curry the ball. So maybe I get why you feel that way, but I don't think it's lacking substance. I think if anything, yeah, if you want to move the 3-point line back a little bit to try and balance it out slightly and maybe make post play a little bit more relevant, sure. But I go back and I see people go back and dissect some of these games from different time periods, and it looks ugly. And I think if they were playing that style of basketball, people would complain about it the same exact way that they're complaining about too many 3-point shots. People would hate standing around, enter the ball to the post, guy backs down for 5 dribbles and then misses a hook shot. People would absolutely complain about that in today's day and age. I just think people are looking for reasons to be negative, it feels like, and reasons to complain about the product when it should just be propping up the product. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I do think at some point like a smart offensive-minded coach will try to figure out how to go back to more of like an inside-out game and utilize just a post presence or whatever. But you also have to have someone who's skilled in the post, and like Jokic, like who else is really that skilled of a post player in terms of like running their offense through them in the post. So um, the
Yeah.
the problem is like so Draymond complains about it, but would you want to run your offense through Draymond in a like posting up? He's not a post up player. So like you're
Yeah.
not like so what are you talking about? Like
Yeah.
you need like isn't the game being more open and having 3-point shots and stuff, doesn't that actually make it easier for Draymond like to
Yeah.
be effective passing and with the ball and stuff? Because he's not creating shots like down low like a traditional center. So I don't understand what he's complaining about.
Yeah. You know what I feel? If people are just not enjoying the league, part of me feels like they might think it's the product. There's so many threes. But it's
Yeah.
like, all right, were you enjoying all the long twos then?
Right.
Probably not, right? I think the format of the league is more broken than anything. I've been thinking about this a lot during the All-Star break. I think the way the league is formatted and the coverage are the two most broken things of the NBA. Because the coverage is all Lakers, 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 and then like, could this star player leave? Oh, John Morant might get traded now. It's all about stars and it's all about big markets, and it's not really about the entire league and the basketball being played. It's all kind of just crap, right? And we've talked about that before. So I think that, the way the league is covered is definitely an issue. But then also, Eric, the regular season doesn't feel important enough. So I think people just get bored because you have 8 teams make it into the first round and it's just a best of 7, right? And the thing is like, what's the difference between NFL and MLB and NBA? Okay, number one, divisions matter in the NFL and NBA. Or the NFL and MLB. They don't matter in the NBA. Divisions don't matter at all in the NBA. In the NFL, in the MLB, you have division rivals, okay, where division matchups feel more important because it's your division rival. And part of the reason they feel more important is because in the MLB, you win your division, you get into the playoffs, right? You get home field advantage. If you're a top 2 division winner, you get a first round bye. NFL, same thing. You win your division, you get a top 4 seed, you get home field advantage. So in the NFL, you play 17 games, 6 of them are against your division foes. All those games feel very important because they could decide the division and home field advantage and a potential playoff spot, even if it's not that great of a division, at the end of the season, right? So all those matchups feel very important. Also, what's the difference? You don't have more than half the teams in the postseason. In the NBA, 20 of the 30 teams make it in. And I like the play-in, but 20 of the 30 teams play basketball after the end of the regular season. In the NFL, it's 14 out of 32. In the MLB, it's 12 out of 30, right? So 12 out of 30 for MLB, 20 out of 30 for the NBA. And even if you just want to count the first round, not the play-in, it's 16 out of 30. It's more than half. It's not the same way in the NFL. It's not the same way in the MLB. It's harder to make the playoffs, and division races matter, right? And also, it's like the difference in seeding. If you're the 1 seed in the NFL, you get a first round bye, right? In the NBA, you face the 8th seed. Yes, you have 1 extra home game in the first round, but otherwise you're on basically equal grounds. If the teams are even, you're on equal grounds. You just get 4 home games versus 3 road games instead of vice versa, right? And that's the problem. Is like the difference in seeds don't feel like they matter. Whereas the NFL, it's like home field advantage through the second round, like it matters there. And then MLB, home field advantage, trying to avoid the wild card round. Like the format of those leagues makes the regular season feel more important than the NBA does. The NBA just feels like, oh yeah, we're just trying to survive until the playoffs, and then we'll really try. And I think that makes things boring. You don't have division races, seedings don't really matter, and it waters down the regular season. So the NBA won't change their format because they make money, but I think ultimately going with a format where less teams make the playoffs and maybe you have a couple first round buys, division winners reward them somehow, right? And then I don't know, like you maybe even shorten the first series so that games feel like they matter more, because the 7-game series is fun if it's competitive, but if it's not, it's like, all right, well, the 1 seed's going to sweep the 8 seed, or, you know, they win first 3 and then whatever. Whereas if you had a 1 versus 8 and it was a 3-game series, the 8 seed, it's like, oh, we just got to win 2 of the 3. It feels more possible. It feels like you could have more upsets. It feels like you could have more Cinderella stories in the playoffs. More teams might feel like they have a chance, but having to beat a team that's better than you in a 7-game series is a lot harder to do. So I think that's the other thing with MLB and NFL. You go into playoff series and it's like, or playoff games, and it almost feels like anybody has a chance to move on. The NBA, it does not feel like that either. So it's, you have all these teams making the playoffs, but only a few actually matter. I think the format of all that is broken, and I think if you found a way to fix some of the issues I talked about and make the regular season feel a lot more important, I think people would care more about the regular season. They wouldn't get as bored. But I don't know. That's just some of the thoughts that I've been thinking of over the All-Star break. Eric, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all that.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I don't really know how to change it, but I mean, that's why like playoff streaks and stuff are always kind of weird to talk about, because like you said, more teams make it than don't. But yeah, I don't know, maybe you can make more of the seeds be for play-in positions. Instead of 10, have it be like 6 or like 5 through 8. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually came up with a format that I think would kind of fit it. If you want me to read it off, I can, and I want to know what you think.
Ahead.
Okay. So, all right, so 30, if it's a 30-team league, I did it for 30 and 32 teams. Let's just go with a 30-team league, all right? If you're a division winner, you get a top 4 seed. So you get 3 division winners, they get a top 4 seed. And you make division games matter. You play your division opponents 5 times. In-conference opponents, you play 3 times. Non-conference, you play twice, and then you have those 2 extra NBA Cup games, and that equals 82, right? So the playoff format, the 1 and 2 seeds get a bye, okay? The 3 and 4 seed are in the first round, but don't have to play in the play-in, and then you have a play-in for the 5th and 6th seeds, and you invite the 5, 6, 7, and 8 seeds, all right? And you do the play-in the same way, right? You have 4 teams playing for 2 spots. Those are basically playing for the 5th and 6th seeds. All right, so you do your normal play-in, and then you would have 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. You do a 3-game series where the series is played every other day. The only problem with this is maybe too much of a layoff for the 1 and 2 seeds. But so you do your play-in for the 5th and 6th seeds, okay? And then you have a 3-game series for 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5, okay? And then the 2 teams that advance play the 1 and 2 seeds, so you'd have 4 teams left, and then you go to 7-game series. And what I think that does is rewards teams for getting a 1 or a top 2 seed. It rewards teams for winning their division because they get to avoid the play-in, right? And then you are still bringing 16 of 30 teams to at least to the play-in, but in terms of after the play-in, you have 6 teams left. So you have 12 total out of the 30. Does that make sense? Is any of that confusing?
No, it makes sense. Just cutting a lot of games and money.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it. That's the problem. But also, I'd say this. If that format causes people to care a lot more about the regular season, like, can you gain some of that money back through the regular season? But they'll never do it because they won't cut playoff games. This is not a proposal where I'm like, oh, hopefully they'll do this someday. I have no hope that they'll ever do this. But making the play-in would actually mean something. In the East, it feels like 9 or 10. Say like those teams get in by accident. You know what I mean? The Bulls, if they are in the play-in this year, it's on accident, which is not good, right? Making the playoffs should mean something. Should really mean something. The only time it means something is the teams that are like getting out of a rebuild. How many years were we like, oh, we're in the play-in, or we're in the playoffs, but it doesn't even matter. We're not competitive enough, right? Like in the MLB and the NFL, making the playoffs means something. In the NBA, it's just kind of like whatever because so many teams make it. So that format, I think, solves a lot of those issues and would make the regular season a lot more interesting because division races matter because you get a top 4 seed, right? And the one non-division winner also gets a top 4 seed. That's how you can can balance it out. But if you're 2 games behind your division winner, you're not only are you looking at seeding for like 5, 6, 7, 8, but also it's like, man, we need to win our division because then we get the bye. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in a play-in and have like 1 game do or die scenarios potentially. So that would make division races matter, and then that also promotes rivalries between your division opponents because those games matter a lot. That's the thing in MLB, NFL, you have divisional rivals, and the rivalries actually are actual rivalries, but in the NBA, it's not like that. It's like, yeah, the LA teams are going to be rivals because they're from LA, but it's like, it doesn't feel like Portland is a rival with Minnesota or OKC. So,
well, yeah, I think the problem was we had division winners back because it used to be that way. You used to get a higher seed if you're the division winner and stuff.
Yeah, but still, it didn't really matter because you just had 8 teams make the playoffs and roll in the first round in all 7-game series. So
yeah, so maybe when they expand to 32 teams, you could have 2 divisions of 8, and then it's way. Then you forgo the possibility of like a really crappy 4-team division or whatever, 5-team division.
Yeah, that was my idea for the 32 teams. Yeah. You could do like 2 8-team divisions, or probably 2 8-team divisions. You get a top 2 seed, so you get that bye. But
and then so I was kind of against the in-season tournament, but like those, especially like as a team that's not really a contender or anything. Yeah, those were like the only games that like we got up for this year, really, So, but there's only 4 of them, right? So like, why not make that like 8 games or something? So it's like a 10th of your season, and I don't know, just place a little bit more importance. And why don't you have like your divisions be the brackets for that or something? I don't know. Like, if it's currently constructed.
Yeah, also another idea I had is like, all right, you have an 82-game season even with the NBA Cup, right? Because it's like incorporated in. So in terms of like records for wins, loss, etc., those can still stand the test of time of an 82-game season be compared to other seasons. But in terms of like playoff seeding, you do it off a point system where the majority of your games are just a winning is going to be worth a point. So it's going to be like it normally is, a win, right? But if you then win the in-season tournament or win your pool, you can maybe get extra points, right? Where if you win the in-season tournament, that's an extra 3 points. So it's like you get an extra 3 wins. It's not reflected in your record because you still want to maintain the integrity of like an 82-game season for statistical records and all that sort of stuff. But it can help your case for getting seeded better. All of a sudden, that means a lot more. Because that's the thing. It's like, oh, players get money. Cool. Like, yeah, rebuilding teams will get up for it because you're actually playing for something. But does it really matter? Like, no. You know what I mean? But if the Bucks, right? What seed are the Bucks right now? They're 29 and 24. They got an extra 3 points towards their record, basically. Then winning that tournament could mean a lot at the end of the year. It means something. You're playing for something. And for the players, it's like, oh yeah, obviously, like it helps your season. So something like that. I also think it would be maybe an idea where the NBA could play regular season games occasionally at different places, right? We saw the Spurs play in the Alamo Dome, and that was like a big regular season game. Even though it was just a normal regular season game, it was like they're playing the Alamo Dome. So it's huge. There was a bunch of people there. It was nationally televised, and it was like a spectacle, right? So can you do that with regular season games to spice it up throughout the season where maybe once a week, on a weekend, you have a key game where a team is playing from, I don't know, like the Pacers are playing in the Colts stadium because that's an indoor stadium, or you just get creative with venues and that sort of thing. So and maybe if you did a point system, those could matter a little bit more, and you'd have basically rivalry games at different venues that would account for more points towards your record. Like just stuff like that, man. Find a way to break up how mundane the regular season is, make it matter more, but then also come up with creative ways to make the in-season tournament matter towards playoffs, make different seeds matter, make division races matter. I think that would make the regular season a lot more fun. I just think it's very mundane because it's like, we're going to play 82 games. We have an in-season tournament. The players make extra money, but doesn't really change anything for playoffs. And then we're just going to play 82 games all year. And then top 6 teams are all on kind of equal footing other than, 1 out of 7 games being home or road, home court advantage in a 7-game series. It's just 1 game difference there. Yeah, the top 6 seeds are all equal footing, and then the 7th and 8th seeds that play their way in, they get on pretty equal footing too, and then you just have a 7-game series for the entire playoffs. It's just not. Yeah, the regular season just doesn't matter in that scenario. So.
Yeah, completely agree. I actually, your point system, because don't they do that at hockey?
Yeah, because
soccer,
if you
maybe?
win or go to overtime, yeah, it's done in other sports too.
Yeah. That's like the most logical, like, because I've always struggled with like how to value the in-season tournament or like give it importance. I don't think we should like automatically make the playoffs or anything or whatever. But yeah, I mean, having that count as like an extra win or something, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you basically have a count as extra wins, and for like their actual record, you wouldn't have to make it so they have 90 games on their record where another team has 82, right? And it's like, oh, they broke the Warriors, wins in a season record. They had 74, but they also had 16 losses. They just got a bunch of extra wins, right? So like for historical purposes, I still like the 82-game season, but yeah, you can use a point system to award more points and base the seedings off that. And then at the end of the season, right, you just have 1-point games, and then you can look at it like, oh, this team is 3 points behind the team they're chasing. That basically means they're 3 wins behind. They're 3 games behind, essentially. So you can still basically make playoff races make sense to people. Yeah. So that's the thing is you don't want to fix something and break something else, but I would love to see something like that. They won't give up the revenue, but it's like if you made people care a lot more about the regular season, even if you took off playoff games, if it helped the regular season product, are you actually going to lose revenue?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can make as much up, but because I mean, like the TV deals are all set. It's not like they get extra money from that, but
yeah. But it's like if you had that, and then you're just covering teams the way NFL covers teams, where you're just covering not just the Lakers, and you're not just focused on stars, but you're focused on teams across the league, especially if you got a lot of teams with parity in the West right now, man. The Rockets are the 4th seed, but they're only 6 games ahead of the 10th seed, right? So still got a chance to play your way into the top 4, right? And then if you had play-ins 5 through 8, you'd have a bunch of teams fighting for those play-in spots. And those play-in spots would actually feel like maybe they mean something because those teams would be a little bit better than the play-in teams now and a little bit more capable of potentially going on the run like the Mavericks did last year to the finals when they were a 5 seed, right? Every now and then you'll get an 8 seed that makes some noise, like the Heat are the outlier there, but it's very, very rare, and oftentimes it feels like last year when the Thunder played the Pelicans and the Thunder just completely destroyed them. It was like, oh, this was just exercise for them. Like Pelicans never stood a chance, so... Yeah, I would love for them to focus on a format that makes the regular season more important and get fans back that way, and then promote the game and cover the game and cover teams and make the teams the storyline instead of the star player on each team being the storylines. I think that would go a long ways towards getting people more invested in the regular season product. I think... the play-in game, the play-in has been a success because you have do or die games, and in the NBA, it's like always been 7-game series. So that's a success. So if you can find a way to maybe manufacture a playoffs where you don't get a 7-game series until you have like the top 4 teams from each conference and would expect it to be a competitive 7-game series, like you can go a little shorter because those games will mean more. In a 3-game series, 1 win is, half the wins you need, right? So that's just the mindset I want the NBA to have. That's how ultimately I think they could revitalize the regular season. I don't think they'll do it. Adam Silver, I don't trust his ideas. He's the one who says, I'm a fan of 10-minute quarters, Eric. So
Yeah, don't do anything like that, man. That's too
Because
drastic.
you ruin the depth of the league. Depth does not matter anymore if you have 10-minute quarters.
Yep.
So that's just stupid. That's just stupid. So I don't trust Adam Silver and his ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird because like it seemed like Adam Silver got off to a really good start, but he's really struggled lately, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah, I don't trust him. Anyway, anything else for the stream?
No, man, good ideas. I liked your freshness to some of these things.
Yeah. I was thinking about that a lot over the All-Star break. Just how do you make the regular season better? I think that's their biggest problem. It's not the product, it's not the game. It's how do you make the regular season better? So, and more fun for fans.
Yeah.
So, anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll be live again after the post game, or after the post game. We'll be live again tonight after the game with the post game show. We're gonna reveal our big boards, and we're gonna go deeper than ever into those big boards.
Nice.
We're gonna go at least 60-person big board. So I'm looking forward to that. There's gonna be some bold stuff on that. Eric has a new sleeper. Apparently, we're gonna find out who that is. I have a new sleeper, so you guys will get to hear who that sleeper is. Eric, I kind of want you to guess who that sleeper is. Not on air, but after this Discord message me, I want to see if you can guess it. Because I have no idea who yours is, but I think you might have a feeling who mine is because I gave you some hints. So, yeah, we'll reveal it on the postgame.
The only hint I saw you say was that they were currently playing and there was a ton of games going on, so I have no idea.
It was in the evening. There wasn't that many, was there?
I looked it up. There was like 20 games going on. Yeah.
Yeah, but how many of them were like mid-majors that have no prospects on them, you know?
Well, I don't know. Why couldn't it be a mid-major?
It's somebody we've said his name before.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Okay.
Mine, we have not, and you would never guess it in a million years because it's the complete opposite of the type of prospect that I usually like.
Wow. You know, so I play 2K now, just not games, but I do 2K sims, like franchise sims. And basically I spent last night looking at a bunch of very under-the-radar prospects because I was trying to build out a you can build out draft classes on 2K, and you have like 150 player spots. I was trying to build out like a 150 player draft class. You can basically download players that people have made, so you can find guys like Max Shulga, for example, on 2K. Like somebody's made him and uploaded him, so you can like download him to your draft class. So you can like fill out a bunch of players. But basically, I was looking at a bunch of different sites, and I was doing this more so just to like get familiar with a lot more names. So I familiarized myself with a ton of names, which could be potential undrafted two-way guys. Like I've, all the way down to guys like Lachlan Ulbrich in the NBL, that sort of stuff. Looking at NBA Draft Room, going through their 150 prospects. Even look at NBADraft.net and going through all their prospects. Like, so I'm curious if this is a guy that I saw or not. Because I went through so many names last night that could potentially be drafted, so many seniors, and watched a little bit about on a lot of them. So I'm super intrigued. This is why you guys should tune in for the postgame show. I'm super intrigued to see who this is. I got somebody in my top 60 that I don't see near a top 60 on like anybody's board. And I have him like 55th, but he's a guy that I think will be slept on, maybe drafted in a couple years, but like he's maybe draftable now. So I got some fun stuff for you guys. I got somebody in my top 20 or so that I'm very high on as a sleeper. So you guys want to make sure to tune in for the big board tonight.
Nice.
Gotta build the anticipation.
Yes.
Gotta build it up. He still won't guess it. I have no idea. I think you could potentially guess mine because we have said his name before.
Okay.
So I want to see you try.
Yeah.
Who's a Tory type of guy? I don't even know if this is a me type of guy. This might be more of the guy I like might be an Eric type of guy, actually.
Yeah.
So
The
are we
guy
swapping
might
here?
be a Tory type of guy.
Interesting.
Definitely not an Eric type of guy.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to the stream, man. Win or lose is going to be fun to talk about prospects. I'm
The only thing
excited for March Madness too.
The only thing that sucks is there was a lot of guys I wanted to add to my big board and they're not on there. So, like, we have that problem too.
Yeah, I would say. Let me look it up. Let me see. I'll tell you how many guys I have in my top 60 right now that aren't on Fanspo. I'm not going to tell you who. Just like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
number. Okay, because it's. Oh, if I could log in. I would say it's probably like 7.
Yeah. Which is a
7
lot.
or 8. Yeah.
This late in the year, we're almost to March.
Yeah, well, I just think. I'll just say this before we wrap up. I think there's an even amount of talent, like 4 through like 20. It's just a lot of guys that I view very similarly. And then I think there's a ton of depth to this draft. I think the weak spot of this draft is like 4 through 9.
You mean 3 through 8 because Cooper Flag's going back to school.
Yeah, baby. But nah, like Cooper Flag, great number 1 overall pick. Dylan Harper, still believe in, right? But like beyond that, it's very messy. It's very messy.
Cooper's not third on your board?
No, he's not.
Inside joke.
Inside joke, yeah. So I think the range the Blazers are most likely going to be picking in is like the weakest range of the draft compared to other drafts. I think the depth is really, really good. I think the top couple of picks are really, really good. So hopefully the Blazers can get a top 2 pick.
Well, kind of like last year, though, the only good thing about that is you could potentially get someone who you thought should have gone like 4th at 9th, because they're so evenly rated. Like maybe you get the best player out of the group,
Yeah, it's just like this draft is driving me crazy because I think 4 through 9, 4 through 10, all these guys are insanely tough evaluations. Insanely tough to evaluate. Where they have like very clear skills where if it pops could be something special, but then also very clear red flags where it's like, dude, I can't just overlook this. So we're going to talk about it in depth with specific prospects tonight with the big boards. Anything else, Eric?
No, I hope to see everyone back on the show later, and hope you guys enjoy watching the game.
Yep, shout out BetUS for sponsoring the stream. Good luck in picks against the spread. If you want in on any of the spread lines, check out BetUS. We're out of here. See you later tonight with the post-game show. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.